Is Claude Code with Unity MCP server an absolute game changer for video game development that can help you one-shot your dream game? Well, today we're going to answer that question. Oh, but first, it looks like I'm getting a phone call. Hey, Bill Gates, you want to fund my game? You want to give me $10 billion because you saw what I was doing on Claude Code? Oh my God. I'll sign the contract tonight. Sorry about that. I'll probably have to cut that part out. Anyways, all jokes aside, I do have a Unity project I'm going to show you. I do think it looks pretty good. And first, I want to cover a few things. So, I had Claude Code build this presentation, and I have some gripes with it. I probably could have edited this a little bit more. But my name is Corbin, and I have in fact sold a ton of software. I've sold millions of dollars of software. That's actually not a joke. I used to work near the Twitter building in downtown San Francisco. I've been around the block with software, and I'd say mostly I've been somewhat of a tech enthusiast, probably somewhat of a tech evangelist, and somewhat of a hobbyist when it comes to the nitty gritty of actually using software. But I know my way around. Now, if you hate I don't blame you. That's fine. I totally get it. I think it's funny. This is your safe space. No worries. That's not no hard feelings. Stay. I'll try to earn your patience. I thought it said this is your safe space. Maybe that's just something I said. This is my third time recording this video because the first few times I wasn't even recording the full screen. I was just recording part of my screen. And with that in mind, I just want to double check this. I am doing the whole screen. Now, part of the reason I would understand if you hate AI is because I spent decades trying to become a good musician. Took a very long time, a lot of very hard work to get things to a decent level, to understand not just how to write a decent song, even from a theory standpoint, but also just execute things. As a human with some skills, it understands the intervals and knows how to count and get things on time and sing on key. It's very difficult. And I've also made a video game without AI, which I don't think I would want to do again. I would make a video game with a team of people, maybe, but as a solo developer, I have no interest there. The other game I made was actually Pandemania. This was a game where I was kind of going through a few personal things. This was before AI, and I can pretty honestly say it is a pretty terrible video game. It's uninspired. It was made as sort of a Flappy Bird clone, and it has some of its own unique little things. I actually did all the artwork, but after doing this, I kind of didn't want to do it at all anymore. I was totally done with it. Look at me. I'm actually doing okay here. Oh, okay. There we got it. Okay. I'm going to let it die. Okay. I kind of want to keep playing it. There's something about anything related to Flappy Bird. It's like, oh, it's actually halfway decent. I made all those little arts and animations and it was about pulled my hair out. I would have loved to have kept doing it, but there's no reason to. There's no audience, there's no money, there's really no way to justify that. So I have tried music, I've tried video game development. I think a big reason these things fail is I don't really have an audience. I think sometimes these indie projects really take off because they have an audience. And I could be totally wrong. Maybe I just can't market and sell a game the way I can software. Um, but who knows? But even beside that, I think there was something uninspired about Pandemania, and there's a lot more places I could go. Now you can really tell this was done by Claude AI. Then I found MCP and Claude, and I got my $1 billion deal with Microsoft. Um, but in reality, there is something really powerful going on here. It's really cool. And I want to kind of share my dream of what I would like a video game to look like. This is admittedly kind of uh, proof of concept image from AI, and also pretty derivative of paddle, paddle, paddle. But hey, I if paddle, paddle, paddle could make however much money it made, what $1 million. I really think if you had something that looked like this and it was a friend slot game and it actually met this standard, maybe you could get somewhere. Obviously, this is AI, their arms aren't connected and whatnot. But this is kind of my proof of concept. And so I'm going to now show you the reality of it, what it actually looks like, because that is an important distinction to make. So this is a sort of friends flop co-op type experience I'm developing, and it's a two-player game. You have a slop factory, and you have to deliver this slop, and eventually you make your way to this slop bowl, and you have to get the slop bowl across the factory. Now this does not look like the screenshot, and um, oh gosh, I couldn't even make it past the first thing. I mean, I am controlling both controllers. This is supposed to be done by two people, but while I'm playing this video game, let's just talk about the development of this a little bit because I think it's pretty interesting, and honestly, if you go look at the visuals for Paddle Paddle Paddle, they're not great. They're not that bad, and in a way, I think they're better than this because you can kind of tell there was more of a human in the loop, maybe, or maybe I think I'm just being too hard on this. I think as a proof of concept, and if this is trying to like live up to the proof of concept crazy AI image I gave it, I think this is easily going to get, a C minus. So basically, you have the slot bowl. As you kind of move the characters around, the slot drops, and you can jump around. You and your friend can jump around. Um, Claude with Fable 5 actually sort of tacked their hands onto this bowl. So that's pretty cool. And I made these characters in Tripo AI. And then there's a few assets I have on the floor I made with Tripo. But a lot of this other stuff, it just made it. It just made it. And the shapes and everything are simple enough. So I think sort of for optimization purposes and what's next, I'm really thinking about buying a Unity asset pack and sort of, cleaning up some of these AI slot mistakes. You can see if you look really closely at some of this stuff, you can see some of the AI slop and influence, but I've been going back and forth with this thing for longer than I should have. I would say the better part of 2 days. So it's really not that much time, but I mean, and that's another thing to think about, right? Is I've actually really only been developing this for about 2 days. For where this is at right now, for the quality of life it has, obviously the online needs to be implemented so you can play it with two people online. But for 2 days, this is absolute insanity for how far it's come. I mean, with Pandemania, that was a 2 or my dog is chewing something. For Pandemania, that was a 2 or 3 months endeavor. And it was a complete failure, and it wasn't even, it was derivative of Flappy Bird. Um, and this is also derivative of Paddle, 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 but I would actually argue this is wildly more innovative, interesting, and I'd probably say original in a lot of ways. I mean, two-player slop co-op games are nothing new. Even the core mechanics of paddle, paddle, paddle have probably been done in one way or another in another game. And there's a lot. It's really hard to do something completely new. You could argue it's impossible. Now, there's some little problems here. This is early development. Maybe the balls don't swing far enough to the left and right. Same with the fans. But I would say this is a great, great, miraculous, amazing start. And I'm just gonna play this whole demo here because it looks like I'm on a good run right now. Sometimes I kind of can't do both of the players at the same time, but I seem to kind of, oh my gosh, I might not be able to make it anymore. I feel like I shouldn't have died there. Okay, so maybe we've encountered a bug. But yeah, so I think kind of for next steps, the Unity Asset Store might help take this to the next level. And mm, maybe just doing things really well in Tripo AI. I'm not sure. Who's to say? You'd probably be able to do something a little more original, actually, if you weren't relying on the Unity Asset Store. And that's very, very subjective with what you want to do and how you're going to do it. I'm just saying that because with the Unity Asset Store, you're kind of locked into some stuff that other people made, right? So how was all of this done? Well, I pretty much explained it, but a big part of it was really setting up my Unity MCP server, which actually took me probably just as much time, if not more time, than everything else in its own way, because I was trying to set it up on my Mac, and the Mac, I just feel like you don't really want to be doing games and stuff in Mac. Oh my God, we're so close to that. Now I have to finish it. You don't really want, maybe you should, but like I was having some problems with the Unity MCP server on my Mac. So I busted out the trusty old Windows and I got to work and I started getting all this stuff together. A lot of this stuff has taken a while. Like I made all these little assets on the floor to try to give the factory a little bit more life. A lot of the tubes were kind of overlapping some of and they still are a little bit. Some of them are and some of them aren't. Some of these like arch legs here for these different sections. But there you go. There's the game. There's my life. And I think it's cool. I think I probably need to try to post to YouTube more and probably put more edit. I can actually edit and write things. But it's like, I don't know, do people, it's so much work. And do people even care? Sometimes, AI has gone so far. Like, is this better than editing at this point? I don't even know. Okay.